Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into what is, without a doubt, the most ambitious, slow-burn luxury residential project in modern American history. We're talking about a project so massive, so incredibly secretive, and just so expensive that it's literally redefining what it means to own a luxury real estate. If you think you know what a mega mansion looks like, a dozen bedrooms, a big pool, yeah, throw that out the window. Prepare to have your expectations completely shattered. Let's just start with the sheer, unprecedented magnitude of what we're looking at here. Citadel founder Ken Griffin didn't just wake up and decide to buy a nice house in Palm Beach, Florida. No, he wanted a singular, massive compound. 27 acres, $500 million, one unified vision. Most people dream of owning a home. A select few dream of owning a whole neighborhood. But Ken Griffin, he basically decided to buy his own zip code.
Section 1, the 27-acre assembly, building the footprint.
So before a single brick of this mansion could even be laid down, there was this decade-long, totally covert mission just to secure the dirt itself. Starting way back in 2012, Griffin methodically pieced together 10 separate properties. But here's the thing, he didn't just walk up, knock on the door, and introduce himself. Not at all. He used shell companies. These were designed to keep the sellers completely in the dark. Because think about it, if these sellers knew a billionaire hedge fund manager was trying to buy up the entire block, prices would have skyrocketed instantly. So he moved quietly, year after year, from 2012 all the way to 2024, snagging parcel after parcel until he basically won the ultimate real estate game.
Now, securing 27 contiguous acres, and by contiguous I just mean fully connected, sharing borders, is incredibly rare. Actually, scratch that. It's pretty much unheard of around there. We're talking about land stretching uninterrupted from the Atlantic Ocean on one side right across to the Intracoastal Waterway on the exact opposite side. By linking these lots up, Griffin created the absolute largest single residential parcel in Palm Beach history. It's literally an ocean-to-lake empire dropped right in the middle of one of the most densely packed, ridiculously expensive strips of land on the planet. Section 2, breaking records, unprecedented purchases. To really wrap our heads around how you get to a $500 million price tag just for dirt, we've got to look at the staggering financial scale of his final acquisitions. In 2019 alone, Griffin spent over $200 million. Just let that sink in for a second. $200 million in a single calendar year simply buying up adjacent properties. And the craziest part? He was buying these perfectly good, incredibly lavish mansions just to bring in the bulldozers, completely demolish them, and tear down all their fences, all just to clear the runway for his own ultimate estate. You can really see the massive escalation here. He started off with about $130 million back in 2012, which is already a huge number, right? But by 2019, he was absolutely shattering the ceiling. He actually broke Palm Beach price records twice in that exact same year. First, he swooped in with a $99 million estate purchase, and then turned right around with another $104 million buy. He was just outbidding everyone in his path, assembling this incredible legacy dollar by dollar, demolished brick by demolished brick, to get exactly what he wanted.
Moving into Section 3, designing the compound and the architectural vision. There's a quote that perfectly captures the entire intent behind this massive project. Not a house, an empire. And honestly, that hits the nail on the head. Because you don't spend $500 million on raw land just to build a standard luxury home, right? No way. You build a monument.
Okay, to really grasp the sheer, unimaginable scale of what's being built, consider this. The planned contemporary main residence alone is 50,000 square feet. For a little comparison, the United States White House is roughly 54,900 square feet. Think about that. Griffin is building a private, single-family residence that is nearly the exact same size as the home of the President of the United States. It is honestly tough to even wrap your head around that level of space. And of course, to execute a monumental task like that, you need the absolute best in the business. The design firm behind this whole thing is Seattle's Olson Kundig. These guys are the go-to architects for billionaires. We're talking clients like Jeff Bezos, LeBron James, and Bill Gates. They are legendary for building these incredibly sleek, modern, glass and steel architectural statements. They don't just design houses, they engineer literal masterpieces that are meant to stand the test of time.
Section 4, inside the estate. Intimacy at scale.
So this compound is ultimately designed for just one man and his family, which means it has to feature intimacy, but at a scale most of us simply cannot fathom. Beyond that gigantic 50,000 square foot main house, there's a completely separate wing built specifically for Griffin's mother, plus these expansive guest quarters. And the amenities, oh my goodness. There's a resort-style pool that runs all the way from the main residence right up to the Atlantic Ocean, flanked by massive glass walls on both sides. It's like the ultimate indoor-outdoor oasis. And on the other side of the property, over 200 feet of intracoastal waterfront ready for a private yacht dock.
Section 5. The billion-dollar apex, the absolute apex of real estate. To give you a sense of where the absolute ceiling of the ultra-luxury market sits today, let's look at some other heavy hitters. You've got The One in Bel Air, which famously sold for $126 million. Then there's a massive waterfront estate in Naples, Florida that went for $225 million. But then there's Griffin. He spent over $500 million on just the raw land. That's more than double the price of the most expensive penthouse in New York City. And remember, he hasn't even finished building the actual house yet.
Because of this completely unprecedented upfront investment, when construction is finally totally complete, Ken Griffin's Palm Beach estate is widely projected to be worth over $1 billion. $1 billion for a single-family home. That places this property not just at the very top of American real estate, but in direct conversation with the most valuable private residences anywhere on planet Earth. It's in a league entirely of its own.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative thought. Ambition, art, or obscenity? Is this the ultimate apex of American real estate? We're looking at 27 acres, $500 million spent just securing the dirt, and a vision that is still actively being built right now. It really forces us to ask ourselves what $500 million truly represents in America today. Is it the ultimate, grandest expression of the American dream? A masterpiece of modern architecture? Or is it a display of unimaginable excess? Whatever you decide, one thing is completely undeniable. The whole shebang is absolutely fascinating. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.